Good evening. Welcome to WSBI, your resource for success podcast program, where you get to meet inspiring women-owned businesses from across the country. And now, for your host, Kimberly McLemore.
All right, good evening and welcome to WSBI, your resource for success podcast program, where you get to meet inspiring women-owned businesses from across the country. I am your host, Kimberly McLemore, and welcome to a special edition of the WSBI podcast program. This evening, you will be spending moments with Lady K and Mr. T. Welcome, Mr. T.
What's up, Lady K? How you doing?
Woohoo! I'm here trying to stay alive.
I know that feeling all too well.
I know. But, it is going to be a phenomenal show tonight. We're already in the month of October, which means fall is already here and bumping. But the big thing that we're talking about, because it's the fourth quarter, right? So the big thing is valuing your self-worth. And how often do you discount yourself? Woo, boy. I can't wait to dive into this tonight. Woo. But before we jump down that lane, let's just tell the listeners a little bit about ourselves.
Okay. Would you like for me to go first, or would you like to go first, Lady K?
Oh, you know what? Okay, I'll go first this time, because I do kind of always push that on you, don't I?
It's okay. I'm used to it.
That's because I love you, but I know you're such a gentleman. So being that you're the gentleman, I'm going to go ahead and dive into this very quickly. Well, for those who don't know me at all, my name is Kimberly McLemore. Some people also call me author Kimberly McLemore because I am an author. I'm a 2-time award-winning author. And I also have a company called Author Kimberly M. McLemore, LLC, which I help people learn how to rewrite their story. So if they have some tragic event, and even if it's not tragic, I teach people how to learn to live their purpose. And then the other side of me is the Women's Small Business Initiative, LLC, which is one of my favorite parts of my business, because I'm teaching and working with women and men who are in business, or either aspiring to become business owners, already in business, and we do a lot of collaboration, whether it's events or other things, but the big thing is about providing resources. That's really what WSBI is about. So that's the two main things about me. So I'm not going to really dive too much more into it, because we're going to have so many other things to talk about this evening, and then we'll get into some of the things that I'm doing about, with the events we got coming up. So tell the listeners a little bit about you. I can't wait to hear about my favorite doggy.
I think at this point, it should probably be his podcast, Moments with Pepper.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, we need to bring him on more often. He's literally takes over the first part of our show.
He does, and he doesn't say a word. That's the thing. He's just real quiet with his stuff. He just comes in like that silent, deadly killer, that quiet person, that quiet storm. He's not gonna bark. He's just gonna look at the mic and then turn his head and not say anything. So, well, with that being said, for our listeners out there, I'll lead with that, is that I'm a doggy daddy, and a proud doggy daddy of a wonderful little Shih Tzu whose name is Pepper. And he is quite the character, and it never seems to leave me without something funny to say or something to do. Because he is just the comic, and he doesn't even know it. But outside of that, I am Mr. T, also known as Tarek, or T, as my students affectionately call me. And I'm the owner of Move with T here in Northern Virginia, which is a holistic fitness company where we do work out, but we also look at things more than just the physical aspect of things, but we try to cover motivational ideas, and also not so much mental stuff, because you need professional people for that, but I do try to reach out to people and try to provide a well-rounded approach to fitness, as opposed to just getting in the gym and dieting. So we try to offer a lot of fun that way, and I love dance. I am a music lover. a Netflix extraordinaire, and I'm a Beyonce-holic, and I'm proud to say it.
Oh,
There you go.
yes, you are. Yeah, because we definitely got to talk a little bit about what we did in September because we had some phenomenal things going on in the month of September. So
We did.
yeah, so we'll backtrack a little bit on that in a little bit. But is there anything else you want to talk about who and you are as the phenomenal Mr. T?
Well, other than just being the Mr. T, I'm Mr. Move with T. And I do get called that, which is very funny now. I think shout out to Michelle Hunter, because she always calls me Mr. Move with T, and other people started doing that too. So
Wow.
other fitness folks in the industry of in this area, they say, "Hey, Mr. Move with T," and I'm like, "Oh, hey." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I don't have a name anymore. I'm just Mr. Move with T, which is fine because I'm the face of it. So,
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. So, and you move quite well.
I try. And for our listeners out there, I do Zumba, Strong by Zumba, cycle. I'm getting a certification. I just got a certification actually in bar, and I got a couple other certifications that are gym specific, but they involve cycle and HIIT training as well. And HIIT stands for high intensity interval training. So we do all sorts of things, and I got more things coming up. So I'll be keeping y'all posted. And no, just so you guys know, I'm not teaching bar yet. I'm not ready yet, but I'm certified. There you go.
Hey, you know how it is. You know, it's like, ooh, got your certification. Everybody's like, you're supposed to jump out there and start doing things, right?
Exactly. Like, no, not yet.
Oh, goodness. Well, yes, you have a lot of amazing things going on. And you are still doing somewhat of a blog and so forth for the other organization. You're
I'm
a
sorry.
mini author. So let's talk about this. You think I forgot about them things?
Oh.
See, I haven't forgot. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I am an online blogger for the Z Beat. That's V Z, and then the letter Z, and then BEAT. You can find us online on Facebook and Instagram, and also online at www.thezbeat.com. And I do a monthly offering there for motivational living. It's specific to health, wellness, and fitness. So it's very much tied into that, but and there are also a host of other instructors in the local area in the DMV that also participate, and it's a lot of fun, and we keeps busy over here in T land.
Yes, you do.
We keeps busy.
Oh my gosh! Well, yes, you're definitely very, very, very busy, and we do appreciate you because I just love. Being able to have the time to spend with you and, doing some of the Zumba, some of your Zumba stuff. And then, of course, some of your events and stuff. Like I said, we'll talk more about that later. But what I definitely want to do is dive into this topic. You actually came up with this topic for the month of October. And I'm just like, wow. I thought about it. I said, it wasn't much for me to have to think on this one. It's one of those conversations, one of those thought processes I think that we struggle with every day, learning how to value your self-worth and then understanding how often do we discount ourselves. And we can look at this, I guess, in two different ways. I think a lot of times when people hear the topic of this, we all think of money first. Most people put that cash dollar on themselves of, what am I really, worth, especially if we're looking into the entrepreneurial world, the business world. It's always usually about money, but most people also don't understand. I think that part of valuing and discounting yourself is about you as a human being and realizing that you don't have to compare yourself. You need to know who you are and what your self-worth is. And I think a lot of times it's a struggle. It's a struggle personally and it's a struggle professionally because we live in a world that gratifies and gravitates to people who stand out in a certain way that the system and the world tells us that we should be. So, every day you start to see more and more commercials where they're showing more of the balance. Like, oh my gosh, there's all colors that live in the world. There's all shapes. There's all sizes, so it's all these little things that if you don't value who you are, how can you come out and teach other people how to value themselves and know their self-worth, especially if you're in the business world, you're going to put $1 on yourself, on your products and services that you may provide. But then at the same token, you're not feeling that way about yourself personally. So it's like, how do you separate the two? What are you doing, to make yourself feel like you're discounting yourself, or do you even know that you're discounting yourself? So I think there's a lot of different ways of looking at this. And I said, when you came up with this topic, I'm like, I could go around the circle in 20 different ways with this, because I know personally and professionally, I have, constantly been trying to balance this my whole life, because it's that constant struggle of, I know I'm worth this, but in the business side, I've always found that people are always asking for a discount. I'm like, wait a minute, it's that constant struggle. And then on the personal side, there's always somebody who's telling you you're not worth it. Where's that self-worth? So you're constantly always trying to balance it out and make yourself look in the mirror every day and say, I am worthy. What am I worth? And I guess too, for me being, I guess I'm going to dig a little deeper in the personal side of me. Being in a position of coming from abuse, you're constantly being told that you're not worthy. So for years, I remember hearing that in my head, and then it's taken me several months to years to say, you know what? Wait a minute now. Who are you to tell me what I'm worth? So you're constantly hearing those things. And so, a lot of times, as people say, when you constantly hear things over and over, you start to believe that is what your worth is, until you learn to love yourself enough to know that you are valuable.
Indeed.
So that's kind of my little 2 cents on, my... Why you laughing at me, T? Why you laughing?
I was like, that's more than 2 cents. That's a whole kit and caboodle right there.
Oh, goodness. So what is your thought process on this topic tonight?
So, well, for me, just in thinking about that, because when I it was actually a meme that I saw, just to give this a small little bit of background, and I was just like, oh, whoa. And usually with memes, we usually laugh and then go on about our business. We're like, oh, but sometimes you get those ones that make you like stop and process and think. And so I just had a thought about, because many of us, we don't value our self-worth, or some of us don't even understand what it is.
Right.
Or it takes us until we're like 45, 50 to have an idea and an understanding and appreciation for who we are, and, defining what self-worth is. And usually it has to do with establishing boundaries and not permitting people to stretch over your boundaries, over whatever your boundaries are. And also us being whatever perimeters we set forth to take care of ourselves and do our self-care, not allowing others to encroach upon the boundaries that we've set forth. Because sometimes we what happens is, we say, okay, well, I don't like this, so don't do that. And then someone does that, whatever that may be. And then we acquiesce and we allow them to push on that boundary or move over whatever that perimeter is. And then that's where we get into feelings of getting to where we start discounting ourselves. And when we really own who we are, in my thought, when we really own who we are and understand what our boundaries and our perimeters are, we can effectively say to these other folks, "Hey, you're moving too far. This is not where I want you to be. You need to move back." And if they don't like it, and this is what happens a lot. A lot of times we want them to like us, or we don't want to make anybody angry or mad, so we allow them to, push past areas that we've already firmly established. And because we do acquiesce, then we end up, caught in things. Many of us end up caught up doing things that we don't want to do. or or aren't interested in, but here we are doing it, and we're like, I didn't really want to do this, I didn't sign up for this, but it's kind of like, well, yeah, sis or bro, yeah, you did when you let so and so step over that boundary that you set, and you didn't give them a hard pushback because you wanted them to, like you, or to feel some type of way about you, whatever that way might be. Because you were fearful of making them angry or upset or disappointing them. And, I think that oftentimes we get so lost in trying to people please that we forget to protect and please ourselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's not to say that we should be, in protecting ourselves and pleasing ourselves, that we should be self-absorbed, because that's a whole other topic for a whole other day.
Right.
And it's a very fine line, sometimes between being, self-absorbed and also being, someone who, is just protecting yourself. And sometimes people think they're protecting themselves, but they're actually, being more, I'm gonna say, vain.
Right.
And self-absorbed and stuff like that, and they're not paying attention to that, and so that's those are kind of like the areas where I'm at. And when I saw that meme, and I wish I still had it with me, I think I deleted it by accident because I was looking for it today, and I was like, where did it go? Because I wanted to be able to read it exactly as it was listed. But yeah, sometimes we're giving people discounts and sales on our time, on our energy, and they don't even have a right to it. So
right, and you're absolutely right. And like I said, we sometimes, and then I think sometimes too, we just find ourselves doing it because people are so busy trying to be kind-hearted, and really all they're doing is taking it for granted. But I did find that meme because that you had sent, since I save all your texts. I'm crazy like that, and it says self-worth. You stop giving others discounts. Love it, love it,
yes.
Love it. I'll say this again, and then I'm going to get my little cheesy clap in there. Self-worth. You stop giving others discounts. Okay? Cheesy clap. Okay. Here we go. Hey. Yeah, it's important, like I said, I think, a big part of it is we're so busy trying to please, but at the end of the day, we don't spend as much time pleasing ourselves the way that we should, learning to deal with our flaws and being okay with our flaws, and realizing that our flaws are not everything about who we are, but it also makes up who we are and what our worthiness is about, and, like I said, discounts can go so many different directions. And like I said, in the business world, it's always about, oh, well, I don't want to pay that, or can't you give me a discount, or blah, 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 blah. And then, you hear some people say, well, you're doing this too cheap. Don't you know what you're worth? And then if you're doing too much, there's so many little different things that will drive you over the edge. So I think it's really important that people understand just specifically who they are. And if they have to take a step back, take that step back, re-look and reanalyze who you are. Understand that if you cannot control your world, you can't control and guide anybody else's. And that's really kind of what this topic is of talking about, and understanding that discounting everything that you do will get you nowhere in life. We all know we make mistakes. Learn by those mistakes. Move forward from them, and be able to realize that we all have something valuable to bring to the table. I think that's the most important part of this conversation. At least that's my personal thought process on it. But I know, Mr. T, what you thinking some more on?
Well, I'll say I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I know. For me, it's taken some time for me to get to a place where I as for myself, that I've been able to, kind of fully appreciate who I am. And it's still, and I want to say, an ongoing battle. You still have to remember, because sometimes I still remember myself as, and I'll be blatantly honest, I still remember myself as a 13-year-old fat kid in gym class.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And so, struggling with, with that mental picture with who you are today, and knowing everything that all my accomplishments, even things that I didn't accomplish, things that, maybe I stepped forth to do, just a culmination of all of that, just putting all that into what it is that makes me who I am today, and trying to appreciate who I am today is, it's like I said, it's an ongoing thing. We have to kind of do daily check-ins with ourselves and say, hey, you look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, you're doing all right.
Right. And that's the key. And that's what I like what you just said is, the fact that we have to constantly do our daily checks in. But the biggest thing I love what you just said is that we never sit back and celebrate the things that we have truly achieved and accomplished, because some days we are stuck in on those moments that don't feel so good. And there just seem like there's some constant reminder that's there. So, I absolutely agree that is something that everybody should do, is check on themselves and be thankful and realize that you are absolutely worthy and you're very valuable.
Indeed. And it's just so important just to kind of always do those check-ins. And then once again, to my earlier point, when we establish our boundaries, to stay within them. Now, we can always go back later and reset our boundaries, because as we grow, things will shift. Like things that were maybe permissible before may not be permissible now. Things that we weren't into before. That we didn't, or that we did allow before, we may not. We may be like, okay, well, that's okay now. Right. Especially as we get older and we get into relationships, we start, which I'm not going to delve too far off course, but, we learn what we'll tolerate and what we definitely is a hard no.
Right. Exactly.
So, yeah, so that's where I come with the discount, is just knowing that, are you handing out discounts and giving people permission to really, and the word that comes to my mind, I've said it several times, is encroach upon you and who you are and what you consider your way of existing and, your level of integrity. Are you allowing people to encroach upon that and change that and shift it into something else? Or are we, doing the work to maintain who we are and stay true to who we are?
Absolutely. Love it. Love it. Yes. This is a great conversation. And like I said, it's one of these topics that we could go full circle consistently on and talk probably for a couple hours on, because there's so many things that you start to think about as you're even communicating. We're both like, oh yeah, and then we have this and we have that, but like we always say, every month when we're doing the show, the big thing about our show is always providing our thoughts and processes of understanding of what it means to kind of clear your mind, thinking, get that negativity out of your life. We're here to really motivate you. It's not about tearing anybody down. It's truly understanding that, we all go through these same things, and there's so many people out there who usually feel like they're alone, and we want you to know that you're not alone.
Exactly.
Yes. So, this show is coming to an end quick. I said, Lord have mercy, time is flying.
I know.
Flying. It's always these great topics that keep us, just hanging over that edge. But obviously, we have some other things we really definitely want to quickly, walk through and talk about, because we have some amazing events that are coming up, as well as we had some amazing things going on in September that we did not get the opportunity to talk about in our last show, because we just been so crazy busy and our topics have been so phenomenal that it's hard sometimes to cram it all in. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and start, because you let me go first. I'm gonna let you go and talk about the events, because I just can't wait to talk about.
Oh, well, I know one in particular that I know you want to co-sign on. So Move with T was proudly able to, and for those just chiming in, Move with T is, of course, my fitness company here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. We were proudly able to host Chandra Hampton of Champion Lifestyle Fitness it was on September 8th at Gold's Gym Lorton. For those that don't know Chandra, if you're in DC, you should definitely check out one of her classes, as well as mine. Come down to Virginia, check mine out too. But definitely check her out. She is actually DC's best dance class winner for 3 years running since 2017, which is amazing. So 3 years back to back, she has won that title based on all of her champions, which is what her faithful students are called, just voting for her so consistently. And so she had a wonderful Beychella-inspired dance fitness workshop that she created based on, of course, Beyonce's Homecoming Netflix special and her Coachella performance from last year. And it was amazing.
Yes.
I was like, I'm gonna let you chime in on that because I feel like there's some things you want to say before I go on.
What I have to say about that event, well, first of all, thank you for, asking Chandra to come up and do that class, because I definitely didn't get to the class that she did in D.C., and that was back in August, correct?
Yeah, she did one in August, and I think the other one was in June or July.
Okay.
And both of those were sold out. So it was I couldn't get to the first one because it sold out before I could get in.
Wow.
So as soon as I saw her advertise for the second one, I was like, I gotta sign up right now. And like literally like the next day, I think it was sold out. So
yeah,
and then I was like, after doing it, I was like, we got to bring you to Virginia.
Yeah, because Chandra is a beast, and I love her to death. Obviously we've done some other things with her in the past, and then she was actually interviewed on my show, and she is just the sweetest woman in the world, and just I love her energy and the energy she brought to that day on September the 8th, that Sunday. Oh my gosh, we were jamming like we was getting ready to go on stage. Okay.
right. Beyonce had an extra set of backup dancers.
Yes.
on that day for sure. Like in case you ever hear, girl, and some of your people call out sick, we got it.
Exactly. It was just so much fun, to let go and just enjoy the afternoon. But we absolutely learned a lot in the class, and she gave us the permission to just be free. And I think that was the most important part that I enjoyed, was that there was no judgment in that room. Everybody was there for their own purpose, and that purpose showed up on that floor. And like I said, thank you again, because honey, we got to do this again. Okay.
Definitely. I hear she might be in the talks of doing something in Maryland, but I don't have any information on that yet. So maybe by our next show, I'll have some information. So and there were people at the one in Virginia that had already done, not just me. There were people who were at the one in Virginia on that Sunday, September 8th, that had been to some of the previous ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
So it was just like, that's how much people enjoyed it. They're like, well, I want to go back and do it again.
Yes,
yes.
Yeah,
so... But also in September, just real quick, I did want to cover something amazing. Move with T was invited and was a part of Dancing Is My Voice, which was held on Saturday, September 28th at the Lincoln Memorial at 11 o'clock in the morning. The proceeds, the whole point of Dancing Is My Voice was to bring awareness to sexual violence and abuse, and the Estee Lauder was one of the sponsors for the event. The proceeds went for the fundraiser, because it was a fundraiser, went to Global Pact. I think I wrote that down right, which is an organization that reaches out across globally reaches out to help and to spread awareness and to try to impact and stop sexual violence as much as possible, especially not only in first world countries, but second and third world countries as well. So that was an amazing event to be a part of, and to be there at the Lincoln Memorial with all those hundreds of people that were just there to have a good time was just a phenomenal experience. And I was glad to be a part of that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I missed it because I was hanging out in Manhattan, New York on that same day.
I know.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, okay, now, any other time I could be there, but I had an amazing Sip and Sign author book signing and networking event in Manhattan, New York that day, and we had 4 amazing best-selling authors, Becky Baldwin, Dr. Denise Moore, Twyla Anthony, and then Alfred Obese. Oh my gosh. They showed up, they showed out, and they delivered. So for those who missed out on that event, I'm telling you, you should have been there. We had great hors d'oeuvres, great glasses of wine and whatever else you might have wanted that day. But to be able to have the opportunity to network and be in a room full of amazing authors and meet other authors, it's something that you should all experience at least one time. Being a self-publishing author or just an author, period, is an amazing opportunity, and it's a tough thing to go through, when you're struggling, but you have that desire in you, and you really want people to hear your stories, and you want to share that information. So I appreciated those who did show up and supported all of my authors. This was a major event for me because I love having the opportunity to work with my girl, the Purple Goddess, my sweetheart. Her name is Miss Kiana Williams. She co-produced and hosted this event with me, and if not for her, it would have not have been successful. So everybody needs to understand that when we're doing these type of events, even like the events that T and I are getting ready to do, all of this is work, and so obviously, we all want everybody to knock the doors down, and we always want a sold-out show. But it's not always about how you sell out. It's about how you show up and you do your best at what you're doing. So, if you're interested in learning more about the next events, because I do plan on hitting the towns, hitting some different areas in 2020. So be looking for me in Houston, because we'll be hitting Houston, and be looking for me in Eastern Pennsylvania next year. We're going to be doing the same type of setup with a whole bunch of new authors and a new co-host as well.
Hey, I have to be really selfish right here, because every time you mention Houston, because I am a Beyonce fan, I want to say H-Town. It's going down. It's going down, going down, going down.
Well, since we are talking about Houston, okay, now I will be in Houston on Saturday, October the 5th. I have been invited to be the featured author at the Divas Day 10-year celebration with Miss Kim Mason, who is the executive director and founder of the Divas Day event. So for those ladies who are in the Houston area, and Beyonce, if you just happen to be hanging around, come on by. We would love to see you, okay?
Hey. Or Solange, because you never know when Solange is
that is true. That is true.
Tina, but like, hey,
hey, any of them, come on through. Yeah. We would love to have the support. But no, to be serious, on the serious side, it's an amazing event. Especially, I'm excited because having the opportunity to be a part of the 10-year anniversary was so special to me. I know Kim; she has been a beautiful person from the day that I first met her. She's always been that same person. For her to even invite me to this event and to support everything that I'm doing as an author has been amazing. But for these other ladies who will be there will be several other amazing guest speakers. There will be other vendors there. If you got the VIP treatment, you're going to be getting a wonderful breakfast. There'll be a whole bunch of other things that comes with that VIP package. I even made sure I got that. Even if I was a guest, I'm like, I'm still going to get VIPs. I am spoiled. Okay. I'm very spoiled. But if you have not registered and you have not gotten your ticket, I do know VIP is no longer available, but there are still the general tickets. Go to www.divasday.org/registration. Please, if you're in the Houston, Texas area, continue to support Miss Kim Mason. She has a phenomenal organization, and I am so excited about being able to be there on October the 5th. And I think we have one other amazing event coming up in October. Do you know what that is?
I do happen to know what that is. I'm so glad that you brought it up, Lady K. So we are pleased to announce on behalf of Lady K and myself, we would like to announce our second annual Purple and Pink Disco 70s Throwback Zumba fundraiser and community health fair taking place on Friday, October 25th. Also at Gold's Gym Lorton in Lorton, Virginia, starting at 6:30 p.m., running until 8 p.m. It's an amazing event. Donations are definitely being accepted. The proceeds will be split 50-50 between a local domestic violence shelter And also 50% to Susan G. Komen Foundation. For those of you who don't know, for October is the awareness month for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and also Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I think there's some other things that October recognizes as well, but those are our focuses, and their colors respectively are purple and pink, which is why we do the purple and pink 70s, disco 70s throwback Zumba fundraiser. Hey,
exactly. Ooh, it's going to be exciting. Our first event was phenomenal. I mean, we had no idea how many lives and hearts that we touched that our first year, last year, and everybody's like, are you going to do this again? You're going to do this again? We're like, absolutely. Because all we're asking really people to do is to help us keep the conversation going and continue to break the silence. Because even though we know breast cancer awareness is something that everybody is very aware of, and it consistently happens to women and men on a daily basis, the other thing that most people kind of keep in the background is domestic violence. And domestic violence happens every, I believe it was every 20 minutes, there's somebody who's being abused, or either 20 seconds. So there's so much going on, and I definitely want people to keep that conversation going. And I'm here to be the voice for those who can't be that voice. And there's many other women and men out there who are those voices, and they need our help. So, come out, enjoy that evening. We're going to have an amazing time. We also want to thank our event coordinator, who is Miss Tanja White, who is diligently helping us in the background, getting this prepared and ready to go. So, do not miss this event. Like we said, it's going to be at Gold's Gym Lorton, which is at 7700 Gunston Plaza, Lorton, Virginia. And the one thing that, we want you to all understand, if you are a Gold's member, you are free. If you are a non-member, there will be a small $5 fee, but we still would like you all to donate to the cause. Because last year we raised $500. This year we would love to get up to that $800 mark, or even $1,000. So, let's keep that movement going. And if you are interested in learning more or want to be some type of support with this event, reach out to us. We're available, both of us, on Facebook. We also have our own Lady K Misstah T Facebook page. So there's no way that you can't get a hold of us, right, Mr. T?
That's right. And actually, I have some other exciting things to share for how people can reach out to us and contact us. But I'll save that for later on in the show.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? We getting down to the wire. Okay,
right?
Literally going down to the end here, because we're, as usual, we always go past our 30 minutes. It's just who we are. So, I don't have any other events to share. But if you have any other events, please do. But absolutely, as far as getting hold of me personally, you can reach me at WSBI LLC at all Facebook. That's Facebook. I've got on Twitter. I am on LinkedIn. I am on Instagram. I have my own YouTube page, the Women's Small Business Initiative. So no reason that you can't reach out and get a hold of me if you need something from me, or you just want to collaborate on something. You just have any questions, I'm here for you.
Awesome. Well,
What you got?
I guess we're at our moment of inspiration, aren't we?
We are.
Our final words for the pod.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have something that ties in with our show topic. If you'd like for me to put it out there,
go for it. Go for it, sugar pie. Go for it.
It's don't discount yourself when you can sell for full price.
Oh, I like that. Say that again.
Don't discount yourself when you can sell for full price.
Hallelujah. And yes, absolutely. The key is to that is understanding and knowing what that price is that you are worthy of. That is the key. And it's not always about dollars and cents, people. So don't always get that in your head, but do know that you are worthy and you have purpose. Amen.
Amen. All right. Well, just so our listeners know, they have different ways to contact us. You mentioned our wonderful Facebook page. Mm-hmm. So you guys, if you're on Facebook, you can message us Moments with Lady K and Misstah T. That's K, the letter K, and T, the letter T. You guys can message us through Facebook or send us messages directly to our posts, and we do see them. Also, be sure to like the page and follow for when our next shows will be going on, and also any other things we will be posting as well. We do have a Gmail account. If you guys want to email us, if maybe you want to advertise with us, or maybe you want to come on here and be one of our guests and be interviewed, you can reach out to us at momentstandk@gmail.com. That's momentstandk@gmail.com. And we're also available through Instagram at Lady K and Mr. T podcast, all one word. So you can reach us there. So that's actually new and fresh. So make sure you follow us and give us likes and email us. Even if you just want to email us with a hi, and that's it, that's okay too.
Yeah. I mean, and what we'll do, exactly. And what we'll do is that we will absolutely post this information on our Facebook page so that you will have the Gmail and the Instagram account, so you can, like I said, check us out, say hello. That's what we're here for. Like I said, we're here to support. We're here to, talk to our local people here. So for those who want to be guests, that would be the appropriate place to say, hey, I want to be a guest. We love bringing guests onto the show, because this show is about what we have going on in our community. It's not just about what we are doing, but, we do love sharing, like I said, our resources and sharing, our thoughts and processes, because we want you all to think out the box. But until next time, I want you all to know that we are here every Thursday evening, and the regular show will be coming back next week. The WSBI, Your Resource for Success podcast program, which is on every Thursday evening at 7 p.m. You can hear us at iHeart Radio and Spotify and many other locations now. But until next time, you all have a good evening. Good night.
Good night, everyone. We will be back next Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Follow us on Spreaker, www.spreaker.com/user/WSBI. View our new WSBI website anytime at www.wsbillc.com and on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram.